Welcome back to the channel. It's about 3:30 in the morning, and I'm getting ready to head to work. Lovely Monday, and I thought I would bring you guys along for a morning ride, man. I talk about these morning rides in my previous videos, so I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but I figured, what the hell, let's go ahead and do a morning ride, man. So we need to stop and get some fuel, and head on into work. So without any further delay, hopefully you guys can hear me. We had some miking issues in the last video. Hopefully we don't have those in this one. Alright, let's hit the road, why don't we? Alright. Here we go. So you guys can join me for the ride on into work. Dodging deer and raccoons and everything else. So we have a 57-mile ride. Temps are about 62 degrees right now. So it's really pleasant. It's actually perfect. Feels perfect so far. It might get chilly as we accelerate. Feels pretty good though. But I figured, man, let's do a night ride and see how it turns out. And everything seems to be working. Hopefully the mic's working. I mentioned that once before, man. That ride up to Ohio Powell, I had a lot of footage on that ride, and I don't know what happened, but that footage was the sound quality, it was just horrible. The mic went out, and I'm not sure what happened, but it was a bit of a catastrophe as far as sound quality. So I had to come up with some creative ways to go over top of that with some non-copyrighted music, right? So we'll get out onto the main drag here, and looks like we got about 50 miles of fuel. So I think we can make it to our local Sheets and swing on in there and get some gas, and I think we'll be good to go. And we'll mosey on to work. We had a lot of rain yesterday, So today's supposed to be a rain-free day, which is nice. Supposed to, I think, peak at somewhere in the 80s. There's our first deer of the morning. Look at that. There we go. Man, gotta be careful. I like my early morning starts at work, but open up the visor there. It does complicate if you want to ride into work because of the wildlife, man. I don't want to get kicked in the head by a big ass deer. Yeah, it's chilly. And we dip down into one of these little valleys here, and I bet you drop, excuse me, 8 to 10 degrees down in those little dips. This stretch here is usually our heaviest portion of the trip for deer. Now there's deer on all the entire road, the entire trip down, but this is usually the heaviest populated this hour in the morning, where they're moving from feeding to bedding, where they actually might even still be under a feeding pattern. Yeah, I definitely may have underdressed for the ride again. I find myself being notorious for this. That ride to Ohio Pal was chilly as heck. And I think I'm in for another chilly ride. Your guys' what you can see is probably extremely limited. I don't know that it's even worthwhile to be running that Insta360, but we'll see what we get out of it. I haven't used it much at night, so I don't know what its abilities are as far as nighttime filming. Now as we come up by the park here on the right, actually the park is on the right and the left, but the majority of the park's on the right side of the road. There's usually a lot of wildlife through here also. A lot of deer, raccoon, possum. Yep, we got something on the road up here right now. Oh, another deer. Another deer on the road. Yeah, if you're gonna ride your bike in the morning here in southwestern PA and you're not in a built-up area, even in the built-up areas nowadays, there's a lot of deer, but these outlying areas like this with large areas of agriculture, fields, and woods, they're just bristling with game. PA and Pennsylvania and West Virginia and Ohio. What the hell is this in the road? Well, we have a stray duck in the road. What did I tell you guys? I told you this is there is no telling. I'm glad we filmed today. There is no telling what you might come across on these trips, man, in the morning. I'm telling you, there is so much wildlife I don't even recall what the heck I was going to tell you guys. That's probably the first time that I've seen a duck at 3:30 in the morning quacking on his way down the road like he was angry. It's something probably disturbed him. That really threw me for a loop there. So hunting opportunities in the tri-state area, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. There's another deer over there to my left. Ohio is fantastic. I mean, a lot of the states right now, but this tri-state area, especially Ohio and Pennsylvania, have really improved their hunting laws, antler restrictions on the bucks, and the herds are just huge. Just the hunting opportunities, if you're a trophy hunter, are just fantastic. Tons of opportunity. If you're not a hunter, then that whole 5-minute spiel there probably doesn't interest you at all. Alright, we've got to increase the speed to be with the flow of traffic, but this is the part that gets a little hairy. You gotta... The weird thing about driving at night, you know, and I am certainly no advanced rider or anything of that nature. Still a novice. But I want to share with you, you know, my experience. And during the daytime when you're riding, you know, you're kind of taking everything in. You're focused on the front because you have to be safe. But, you know, you're taking in the sights, you know, things that are worth looking at around you. You're taking all that in, and it's really nice, you know. But at nighttime, you just feel a lot more intense. I do. I feel a lot more intense, and my focus is my high beams. You know, that circle that encompasses what I can see to my front is where my focus is. You know, I'm watching the shoulders left and right, and I'm looking for those eyes, and that's really what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for those eyes to light up in the headlight so I can slow down and react. But at the same time, because of the hour of the morning, you know, these are things that you have to take into consideration. So it's past 3. The bars close at 2 a.m. So it's quite possible to have someone that is impaired driving on the road at this hour. So I always like to keep an eye on my rear, make sure I don't see anybody racing up on me, you know, that maybe is fixated on something else and doesn't see me. So at nighttime, I do run an extra red light at the rear of the bike that I have attached to the license plate, and I do have reflective tape that I've attached to the bike. I've shown that in other videos. And then at the front of the bike, for someone who might be pulling out of an intersection maybe in front of me, I have reflective tape attached to the front of the bike, to my helmet, and then I have 2 additional... that was a rat. I think we got him. We got additional white lights attached to the handlebars. Now, I've seen a car. I was driving probably 100 meters behind them right up here. Had a herd of deer come out from the left, and he hit them. So this is a focus point. Speed limit on here is 50. Now I'll go right below right at 50 or right below 50, right in the neighborhood. I'm not going to do anything extra on this ride, man, at this hour. This is a safe speed for fellow travelers in traffic, but also I'm going to leave myself some reaction time if at all possible. I do have a video coming out that is some off-road stuff on the Polaris 570. Unfortunately, I had a GoPro Black 7 malfunction, so I had to resort to the backup camera, which was the GoPro Hero White 7, so I couldn't hook my mic up to it, so I just mounted it to the quad, the ATV, and we got some point of view footage facing us and off the front of the bike. So it's not the best footage that I normally try to get while we're riding the quad, but it's not too bad. All right, pull into Sheets here, and let's fuel up. Bring you guys along for the ride here too. We might as well. Well, we're gonna have to edit the music out, aren't we? I didn't realize we were gonna play some horrible music. This is one of the ones you have to have the damn nozzle in all the way. I have to be a little more careful with that because we don't want to shoot gas all the way out. So we'll go I think it'll be safe to go 3. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll go 3. 3's fine. Wow. I honestly don't recall the concert outside of the station, but I guess that's all. Let's get back on the road, why don't we? Okay, what do we got? 129 miles. So, we'll see how that works out, won't we? All right, you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's hit the road again. Are we filming? We're filming. Alrighty. Alright, so it looks like we got about 129 miles in the fuel tank. Let's hit the road. Looks like we got a little spin on the 360 camera again, but we'll be all right. Sliver of a moon up there above us. I always try to leave with plenty of time to get to work when I ride the bike, for the reasons I've just shared with you guys. It's not a bad ride. I mean, there's not a lot of traffic at this hour, not a lot of red lights. So as far as driving or commuting, you know, to that location, wow, there's some people on the road. We're experiencing all kinds of weird stuff this morning. So we had multiple deer, a duck, and people all on the road. So a very full morning this morning. This area here, the police like to sit, this hour of the morning especially. They'll sit on these side roads up in here, nice and dark, you can't see them. They'll pull out behind you and pace you. I don't speed, especially in the morning. I don't even tempt it, man. Hopefully, I sure hope the footage caught the animals, because especially the duck, that was kind of funny. So I belong to a bunch of these, a bunch of the Ryker forums and pages, and you know, when the videos come out, the ones that interest me, I watch those. You know, I consume a lot of YouTube, like a lot of folks. Even for a lot of the restrictions, it's still a really good platform, right? I haven't had the problems that I'm seeing a lot of folks having with their Rykers online. I don't know if I'm the exception to the rule, you know, but there are channels out there where guys are putting, you know, thousands upon thousands of miles on their Rykers with no issues, you know. And so far I'm at just short of 1,800 miles on mine, and things have gone extremely well for me. So I have a difficult time, you know, relating to those. Not that they're not factional or real concerns or problems. Not at all, man. I mean, it all could be, you know, who built your Ryker? You know, was it were we going into a 3-day haul today? Was I don't know, you know. Those brake lights are sufficiently bright back here. I like to pump those when I come to a stoplight, just to be safe. You know, got a truck behind me, so we'll accelerate a little to get away from him. Take it easy, man. Got a little construction zone here. Road gets a little choppy. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of problems, man, on their bikes. Just you know, I see a lot of the VSS codes, a ton of those. And then there's mechanical stuff. I think sometimes a lot of those codes might be folks messing around with the bike's electrical system, maybe adding lights, not doing it in a professional manner, maybe tapping into the wrong power line, maybe tapping into the wrong power supply. I don't know. You know, and you're causing your bike to have that VSS fault. Maybe your foot's riding on the brake, maybe you just don't realize it, maybe it's unintentional. I don't know. It's a tough call. I know it could be any number of things and situations, right, that cause that VSS fault. I know there's, don't quote me, but I want to say there's 4 to 5 of those sensors. At a bunch of different locations on the bike itself. And I guess any number of things could set that code off. We're not supposed to get any rain today, by the way. I know that's random, but you'll notice that the road's still a little wet. We are a bit of a fair weather rider. The bike is garage kept. That might be have something to do with our experience so far too. We don't leave the bike at. If we're, you know, if we're not riding it, it's not outside. So I do try to go and check connections and bolts and nuts and fluid levels quite frequently. I try to stay on top of that. I want to make sure that, you know, if there's anything like that, I can catch it before it gets out of hand. The ride home ought to be really nice. Sunny and warm. I won't film that. I don't have the capacity on the memory card for the GoPro to film that. I'm set up just to capture this morning's ride. And I filmed that for you guys on several different occasions. So there's really nothing new there to share with you guys. This is Route 51 that we've been on. In my videos, we've been on this this road quite a bit. It's a main hub road. It probably would behoove us to get into the center lane up here and give us a little more reaction time in the event we need to be aware of something coming out from our left or right. Had a gentleman comment on my video, one of my older videos on the Ryker. He's across the way there in the UK, and he was talking about he had some comments about what he needed to order prior to receiving his bike because of delayed shipping times to the UK from places like Sling Mods or other third-party places that send, or even Can-Am probably, that send stuff overseas. So if that gentleman is listening, in my opinion, the things that have benefited me the most, add-ons, things that weren't on the bike at purchase. That was a slingshot. That was pretty cool. Number one, actually tied for number one, is the comfort seat. The Can-Am OEM comfort seat. That is a for sure purchase for your bum. You're gonna need it, and it is worth it. Excuse me. It is expensive, but it is comfortable, and it makes these longer trips bearable on your bum. The next is the Can-Am OEM floorboards. I just tried to look down on them and it's dark. That was dumb, right? But anyways, Can-Am OEM floorboards stateside here. They're like 99 bucks. I don't know what they would be for you overseas, but they are a must-have, man. Get rid of those factory pegs that come out. These Can-Am factory floorboards make a tremendous difference in your comfort. Along with the comfort seat, those are number one replacement items. Tied for number two are the foam hand grips. If you have a medium to large hand, I highly suggest the foam hand grips. It'll make the comfort of the ride and the comfort of the throttle usage tremendously better. Also in number two, and they're very affordable, are the from Sling Mods, the convex mirrors. The rear view that they give you is night and day. It's hard to compare. So those will be my 4 must-have upgrades. That you can purchase. A lot of the upgrades you can do on your own, like buying something to protect your front grille or your radiator. Get yourself some kind of a metal mesh product that you can zip tie behind the plastic portion of your front end there and create a buffer between your radiator and excuse me, your radiator and whatever road hazards you may encounter. Third on the list, that one with the radiator protector. You can do that on your own. Go to a hardware store, buy something appropriate, cut it to size. Another purchased upgrade item is I've got the on the front end there. If you look back on a couple videos, I show it. Is that metal skid plate radiator protector. It goes a couple inches beyond the bottom of the radiator underneath the bike, creating a buffer between the ground and the bottom of the radiator. And it also comes up in the front and on the sides of the front end of the bike and creates a little an additional steel bumper for road hazards that you may encounter. So another worthwhile item there. You see the difference there in low beam and high beam. I don't like to drive in the low beam setting. You just get you get very little coverage. That is an upgrade I haven't done yet that probably by summer's end I'll have to get to that. And that is the LED headlights. Those are next upgrade to have. Man, we dip down into these valleys and that temperature just plummets. Hasn't been so bad up until we just dropped down there. We're in a little bit of a pocket here. I did see a really cool Ryker on one of the local Ryker pages I belong to on Facebook. A gentleman took all the removable plastics and painted his Ryker flat dark earth, and it really looked good. He did his rims and all the plastic parts, and it really came together and looked really good. For such a simple mellow paint scheme, you know, flat dark earth. Excuse me. It really looked good. Maybe I'll insert a photo so you guys can check it out. Very nice. We have some standing water here. I hope we don't run into a rainstorm. We are not. I checked the weather. I didn't see anything forecasted. That doesn't mean it won't happen. But we do not have any of our gear. I need to put a set of, if you guys aren't familiar with the Frog Talk stuff, I'm sure a lot of you are. It's that rain gear. It's very reasonably priced. Compresses down really small, a top and a bottom. Probably should have a set of that on here. I carry a rucksack on my back when I go to work, because the only other storage options are the trunk here in the front, the frunk. I haven't added any stowage. Man, they're just, the price of that stuff is just outlandish. And really, with a rucksack on my back, you know, I've been doing some I've been doing some 125 mile, 150 mile rides. So, you know, I could do much more than that if I was just looking to go distance. You know, I've been trying to hit a lot of things local, but I mean, you could probably realistically do 250 mile rides and not need any additional gear besides maybe some rain gear. Like I just mentioned, the Frog Talk stuff. I think we're going to run out of GoPro time before we actually get to work, but that's okay, because we'll do our wrap up with 360 if we have to, when we pull into work. We're coming up on our halfway point to work. This is Uniontown. On those real cold mornings, you may heard me, I may have mentioned it in other videos, I'll stop right there at that sheets there and do a little warm-up. And I've done that twice this year when I've driven to work on the bike, and it's been in the low 50s, you know, 52 or so. And at that temp, man, it's you get cold. All right, we got to step our game up a little bit here. We got to at least do, the traffic should be really light, but we have to do at least 60, 65. As long as they cut the center grass, you can see pretty good in the median there. West Virginia, on the other hand, is really bad about cutting the median grass. They let it grow up 3-4 foot tall, and that's just creates a sketchy situation because you can't see what's in there. At least with in Pennsylvania here, they're really good about cutting that center grass. And you can see for some ways, you can see the eyes. Your weak point is off to the right. Because if he comes hauling ass out of those woods, you're not going to have much reaction time. There's nothing behind us, so I think I can ride this lane here. Give us a little more time in the event that something should pop out on us. Looks like somebody stopped up here. They may have had a road hit. Keep our eye open. I'm going to try to get a couple more rides in this summer on the bike, some nice ones to film, so you're really tuned into your front end here. And it's a little more fatiguing, the ride, than 57 miles would normally be. We did have a cup of coffee before we left. Have to have a cup of Joe before you hit the road. No traffic behind us, nothing in front of us. Well, there is one car way up there. Little road hazard there. We were able to avoid that. Little overhead lighting here makes a difference. Makes a difference for sure. Be nice if that whole ride was like this. Be a whole hell of a lot less stressful, huh? This part of the ride right here, it always smells like someone's got a fireplace going. It smells good. run the center line for the maximum amount of reaction time. Unfortunately, it's grooved from where they actually cut the divots in for the dashed line there, the lane divided line. Man, a lot of phlegm this morning. I apologize for that. We'll let him pass. We'll head on over. We'll be all right. We're going to be heading into West Virginia. Wild and wonderful. We'll see if they manage to mow their medians down yet. Let's get across this bridge. Road quality drops tremendously into West Virginia also. They don't maintain their roads as well. It's Pennsylvania. So here we go. We're going to get all kinds of bumps. Yeah, the grass is high. The roads are crap. And this guy's had enough of me and he's going to pass me, which is cool because I'm in the slow lane. You can see how tall that grass is there, man. That's horrible. On both sides. Let this guy pass us. Now we're clear. This stretch here is where the roads really go to shit. If you're wondering, there are back roads I could take, and I have taken them in the past. You can see the quality of the road right now is just garbage. Woo! I don't know what West Virginia spends its state money on because it's not the roads. Pennsylvania in the wintertime treats its roads with salt, and they have sufficient crews to get out and clear the roads. Man, when I'm coming to work in the wintertime, West Virginia does not clear its roads normally. If you're lucky, they spread cinder on the roads, and that is woeful. So on those less than desirable winter mornings or days, I bring the pickup truck. Fortunately, I've had no issues with the truck. She always manages to get me out, whether it's mud or snow.